What's up people, what's going on? So today will be my second video describing my experience living in a van. I think it's been about a month, maybe 3 weeks, I don't know, but maybe in the month, 3 weeks or a month. So far it's been wonderful. Like, I mean, as you can see behind me, I got a TV. It's a 40-inch Vizio. I say Vizio because I'm a Vizio fan. I like Vizio TVs. I've had them and I've really not had any problems with them. Just to know what I'm doing while I'm looking down is I bought this laptop on OfferUp for $250. It has really great specs as far as processors and things like that. So I was more concerned with being able to edit videos and not have any issues in that department. So having the power to edit videos, basically, processing power. And this laptop amazingly does exactly what my $3,000 custom built gaming PC does. And I love it. So it had issues, it was shutting down on its own. And so I bought a motherboard, a new motherboard, actually a slightly upgraded motherboard as well. Came with a slightly upgraded processor and video card. So dropped a very small screw. I'll probably find that in a year. Anyways, so yeah, that was what I did today. I don't know if you can hear the hum in the background, so I'm gonna explain some things about my setup. But first of all, let me just say this. Thank you for all the followers that have been following me on Instagram lately. It's awesome. And I love the fact that it's an actual community. It's like a niche. So, you know, I post hashtag Vanlife, and then I'm getting people that are in the Vanlife community following me on Instagram, which I love because it's not just random. Like I have another Instagram page and it's just kind of random. It was supposed to be more like a fitness kind of thing, but all I gotta do is hashtag Vanlife and that's it. You know, I don't have to hashtag a whole bunch of things. So anyways, living in the van for, we'll just say a month, has been fine. It's been perfectly fine. I'll give you a slight little bit of a tour here. The last video I did was, so this is my bed. That was supposed to be like a headboard, you know, whatever. It's just a big piece of plywood, the same plywood as that there, right? And I was gonna wrap it in this fabric, and then I was gonna wrap the windows in the same fabric, but then I ended up doing this. So these are my windows, which are actually just carpet, like entrance carpet. So you can see that material. I have another one down there, and they're Velcroed. So, and I glued the Velcro on. This one's coming off, so I'm gonna have to redo it. And then I Velcroed it at the top, Velcroed it at the bottom, just like that, both sides. I'm going to add a little strip of wood, like a small 3/4 inch strip of wood, because as you can see, this curls up after you roll it up. So that being said, those are my windows, and I just basically grab them, roll them up. It'd be nice if they were like a pull string roll up. And then I got these little hooks, like docking hooks, I think cleats, they're little cleats. And that's it. So I can do the same one with that window, and then I've been lazy, so I'm gonna do the same one with that window. The only thing is, right now, I mean, the way it is, even with these windows, but especially that one, obviously, it is so, I can sit here like this with these lights on and the TV going, and you can't see anything, especially through that window, obviously. I got a small little crack right there. You can kind of see the light coming through, but it's so vague from the outside. And I still do walk-arounds in my van at night. So when everything's on, all the lights are on, I'll still go outside and walk around every once in a while. Just to, even though I know it's, you know, perfectly fine, I do it anyways. So my biggest problem really has been I mean, these are small problems. They're not major issues. One is the heat. So let's talk about that. The Mr. Buddy heater. The Mr. Buddy heater is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I love this little guy right here. I did have an issue with, this is a swap out. This is a replacement. So basically the pilot was basically like spitting propane and have this big nasty yellow flame, and you could hear it whistling. So I called up Amazon, and then Amazon sent me to, basically connected me directly to the Mr. Heater people. And I spoke to them, and they're like, well, you gotta do maintenance. I'm like, it's a month old. I'm like, well, it's probably dirty and clogged and this and that. And I'm kind of like, I mean, I do this stuff for a living. This is what I do. I do heating and air conditioning for a living. I'm like, no, that's not right at all. So I did the cleaning exactly how, and they got YouTube videos on the cleaning as well. So I did the cleaning, and it calmed down a little bit, but it kept doing it. So one night last week, I actually didn't sleep in my van. I actually got a hotel because of the heater, and it absolutely sucked. I was lucky enough where Amazon but when I purchased the new one, they had a 1-day shipping option, so I got it the next day. And so that worked out. It was awesome. My bed is actually a 10-inch queen size mattress. So I installed the bed lengthways, right? That's the length and that's the width of the bed, okay? And then I cut, where am I? So I cut the bed. I cut it a little bit too short, but then I had to cut more, and then I just kind of filled it in. So I cut the bed to length, which was whatever, it's about 63 inches wide here from, like, okay, there we go. That wall to that wall. So side to side, it's about 63, 65 inches, I think. Window to window, I think it's like 67. But wall to wall is about 63, 65. And I'm 69 inches tall at 5'9". So I don't sleep sideways, I sleep on a diagonal. So my head is, oh my God, everything's opposite. My head's over there. Let me do it like this. So my head's here, and then my feet are diagonally over here. And it works out, it's fine. No issues with it. I mean, if it did come out here, like literally just this much, it'd be perfect. I could actually lay lengthways. But how I have my van set up is so that I can lay in the bed, you know, with my pillows, you know, just chilling and watch my TV, my Apple TV, and that's how I wanted it. I wanted to maintain that in my apartment kind of, you know, feel. So laying in the bed and staring straight ahead at the TV, to me, is more important than having like storage and running water and things like that. It really is, because I need to feel comfortable. I need to feel like I'm at home. I didn't want a makeshift bed. I didn't want anything like that. And I already had a bed, so there wasn't a real reason to have to cut it. And if anything, I could even trim it if I wanted this way, take off 5 inches and get some more room this way. So right now it's winter. I live here in Massachusetts, so we're having a good week this week. It's pretty much like 40s, and then the end of the week will be like 50s. But for the most part, right now it's a warm. So like this heat has to go off. The heater, if you look at the specs and it says like a 20-pound tank, okay? It will say on low, it'll run for 108 hours. And on high, it'll run for like 48 hours, okay? So I was going through gas. I was getting a tank, a refill, a swap out from Walmart. I did one fill up, or like not a refill, but like just got a full tank. Got it filled up, refilled at a U-Haul. and it was $13, and I didn't understand why. So come to understand that these are 20-pound tanks, and when you go to home, like Walmart or Home Depot or anything like that, they don't fill the tank. They only fill the tank to 15 pounds. It's actually written on the tank. So they're only filled to 15 pounds, so you're not getting a full 20 pounds in the tank. So therefore, you have to readjust for how much you're using on the heat and how much you have in the actual tank. So once I figured that out, that kind of made a lot more sense. Let's go outside. So I was basically running out of gas a lot. And so just to show you guys, my TV's running, my Apple TV is running. That's basically how I stream. And then I have my NetBuddy, which is $60 a month, 100% unlimited. There is no data cap whatsoever. I've already gone through a full 30-day cycle. And I'm talking about thousands of gigs. I don't know why LTE data runs uses more than like house data. This is my generators, my Ryobi 2200, 1700 watt. Right now what this is doing is charging my house batteries. This is my inverter. It came with the van. These are like a commercial grade inverter. It's a VLT 12-1000. It's a 1000 watt inverter. To be honest with you, I don't really know the deal or how important or whatever, blah blah blah. To me, it's a big box, and I could have a much smaller box taking up less space. I do have solar panels on the roof. There are 6 of them. They're 15 watt panels, so they total about 90 watts apiece. My controller, so right now it's not showing anything because I'm actually charging. So if I stop charging, right now I'm getting about 2.6 amps, which is really not a lot whatsoever. And I'll explain that why. If I have this charging, this is a 15 amp charger, and I hit charge, and this is actually charging at around 15 amps. Right now it's at 16.4 amps, and you can see that it only says it's about 80, 90-ish% full, okay? So those are my 2 batteries. I understand that the wires are absolutely a mess. When it gets warmer outside, I will break all this down and make it so much neater. My fuse block is only utilizing my fan and my lights that I just installed. And of course the controller, 2 batteries, is the deep cycle batteries. They're probably old. I don't know the history of them. This does have a battery reconditioning mode. I put it on a couple times, but ideally you would want it to sit overnight. It says about 18 hours. But either way, I would like to have more I would like to have more batteries, but I'd also like to have batteries with more amp hours and preferably like AGMs. And if I really had money, then we'd be talking about some lithium batteries. That would be super, super cool. Now here, I have this solenoid, and what this solenoid does is this wire here is coming from my battery, my main battery in the car, so my starting battery. And then this wire here is going to these batteries. So then you got these 2 posts here which activate and deactivate the solenoid. So one is going up to my tail light. I'll explain that in a minute. And the other one is going to the ground on the battery. I understand I got a red wire on the ground. I know this all has to be done. You gotta understand, I've been doing all this work in frigid, horrid temperatures. I'm talking negative 10 degrees, I'd be out, not so much I'd be out here, but I'd be out here with this sweater and 10 layers and a big winter coat and a hat and gloves and trying to get things done and organized. So this board here, for example, was like one of my windows, okay? So that's what it looks like. The windows are painted. And instead of throwing it out, I said, oh wait, I got all this extra wood, and I was gonna throw out these wood. I just threw them up here. There's a piece behind here. And then I just kind of strapped, because I am I do heating for a living. So pipe wrench, you know, saw. I could go. I mean, I could. It's nice to have a corded power tool. You know, sometimes you just need that power as opposed to a cordless. But I do have a cordless Sawzall. Grinder is important for what I do, especially when I'm doing boilers. Tool tote needs to be dealt with. Everything right here needs to be dealt with. And then the guy I bought the van from left me with a ton of extra parts. I got a water pump in here, and then I got ball joints, tie rods, a whole bunch of stuff. So this whole bag needs to come out, and all those parts need to go in the bag. So every time I hear that thing jump, this is either turning off or on or whatever. In a good way, it's all fine. So that's what the back looks like. And I really didn't map out as far as spacing, you know, the bed and the height, and it just kind of worked out. I had to buy these trays which fit under there just kind of right. And I'll show you what I do. This box has to be redone. Let me get out of this noise. This box has to be redone. These are nice solid 3/4 panels, and then these are just flimsy 1/2-inch plywood, as you can see. So I gotta take this whole box apart and kind of redo the box. But again, I was doing that during snowstorms, you know? Most of this stuff during snowstorms. All right, so here's the van. It's green. I'm mad that it's green. I wish it was like a better color, you know what I mean? I put HIDs. It came with HIDs. But I always assumed HIDs were expensive. So I ended up finding these on Amazon for $33. So I have a nice light blue, very vague, but a nice light blue, very bright HID lights for $33 for the whole pair, the whole kit. This is it. This is my 1998 Chevy Express Mark III. So not a high top, obviously. And let's go inside. So these I don't like because you can see, even though they're painted with a flat black paint, you can still see, right, as opposed to the wood. You see what I mean? So you can see those two windows, and then you can't see that. And if we go around the other side, and these windows have to be kind of covered up a little bit too, but black actually creates a mirror. And this window is actually open. It's open. So with the lights on, you really have to get up there and you really got to look in. So it's nice to have, you know, the natural tint, and then it's dark on the other side so light doesn't go through. But now if it was nighttime, we'd have issues. My only issues now is that these windows are actually illegal as far as the tinting in Massachusetts. It's too dark. This is about 20%, and I think it's about 35%, but you can get away with 30. And so they are dark. So like every time I drive by like a cop or something like that, I kind of always end up rolling down my window, and it's really annoying to have that happening. So let's take a look inside. This is my toilet. I did have the other Reliance toilet where it's like a bucket inside of a bucket kind of thing, but this actually works. There are a lot of complaints about this not fitting, where the toilet seat actually doesn't fit onto the bucket, and I know that's a fact. And I got lucky with this AutoZone bucket. This AutoZone bucket, the diameter is about 1 inch smaller than like a Home Depot bucket. So I made that work. My ceiling, I took out the original, like that fancy kind of trim with the rope light in the middle and all that stupid stuff. I relocated one of the lights already. Those black wires there are for these. There's 4 of these. So I don't really need them. There's one down there, as you can see, when you open up the car. And then those are the original light bulbs from the owner, or the guy I bought it from. So they're kind of like a very light, dim, bluish white. I don't know. They don't do much in terms of light. I painted this like that chrome silver paint. But again, I did it in the cold, and I just wanted to get it done just to see, and I got runs like crazy because I used that, it's like the 2-in-1 spray paint. It's the primer, and I mean, it is really great. It goes on really thick, but you know, if you're outside and it's kind of sort of windy and it's cold and you're not paying attention and you're doing it really half-assed and really quick, then you're not going to realize how much you're actually spraying on. So when it's warm, like it's supposed to be really nice this Friday, like almost like 60 degrees or over 60 degrees. So a day like that, I'll take all these trims down, sand them, and then paint them very lightly. You know, a misty coat, one at a time. I know how to do it. Got new speakers, front and back. Oh, my little shoe rack thing. So this is screwed in heavily, bolted in actually, to the actual like metal frame. And then down the bottom I have it screwed in, which looks like it might have ripped out a little bit. But it is screwed at the bottom and it just works. It's not organized in any way, shape, or form right now. I actually got like a box of spoons from when I was staying at a hotel before I actually moved in. But it's working. Trash bags for the obvious. And then these pretty smelling trash bags, which I actually don't like whatsoever. They're awful. But yeah, this works, man. As far as like my toothpaste and like lotions, again, everything's all over the place. I don't have a home for anything. Band-Aids, razors. I got the Gillette. So I have like a recurring automatic delivery thing with Gillette. I have 2 boxes up front behind the passenger seat with 2 packages. So I have 32 razors. I got more razors I know what to do with. So I need to update that. I don't know, man. Living in a van so far has been just fine. Like, you would think that you need so many different things, and I guess it does. You probably would, and it depends on how you were living prior to moving into a van. You know, if you were living in a full-size house and you're used to like cooking dinner every night and things of that nature, which I'm not. I'm just kind of a drive-through guy, which I know is, you know, costs a lot of money, and I do got to figure something else out. But like, come the warmer weather, like the summertime, I'll definitely have like a portable, you know, propane, like a cooktop, and I will be, you know, like cooking certain things. Other than that, I'm fine. I mean, I got my internet, I got my TV, I can jump in my bed right now and turn on Netflix, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. I got my batteries, I got my generator. That generator will run this TV, my Apple TV, my computer, charge all my devices on a 1-gallon tank of gas for about, I mean, on paper, it'll say about 6 to 8 hours, right? And I know that's true because it actually ran out of gas at about 4 a.m. and I started the unit last night, actually about 9 o'clock last night. So it ran about 7 hours on a tank of gas, running a TV, charging everything. I did get an easy watt meter. So I wanted to see, because I have a little device over here which actually shows me like what I'm pulling from my batteries. I don't know if you guys can see that, right? But it'll show you the voltage, it'll show you the watts. Right now, those 2 zeros is the amps on the top right and the watts on the bottom left. So it'll show you, it's not showing you anything now because it's actually being charged. So the current going in just kind of makes those zero out because there's nothing pulling from it. So when I'm running this TV, okay, so I got the TV on, I got the Apple TV on, it will actually say that I'm using about 36 watts, okay, and then this computer will add another like 40. So to me, it's kind of like 36 watts. Like, how am I using, like, how is this TV only 36 watts? So I got one of those easy watt whatever meters. You plug it into an outlet, plug the appliance into the meter, and it'll show you how many watts that appliance is using, how many amps it's using. If it was in a house and you knew how much you're paying per kilowatt, you can punch in like 20 cents, 21 cents, whatever it is. And then it'll show you how much it'll cost you daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. They're really cool to have. So I just bought it just to see what the TV was actually pulling. And then I would unplug individual devices. So I'd run the TV by itself. And sure enough, the TV is only pulling about 20 watts. And I was like, I'm confused. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to 55-inch TVs. This is a 40-inch TV, which is the equivalent of having a 55-inch TV based on the distance. So the biggest problem that I really had was heat. I would wake up, not cold, I would wake up, some nights it was cold because I would have the vent open, okay? So I got the vent open, like not completely open. What I would do is I would have it basically closed like that. And then I would just kind of slightly crack it, and then I would turn the fan on, and I would have it down real low. So it's blowing in a cold air, trying to balance and mix with the heat at the same time. Never really worked out. It really depends on, the temperature outside. If it's 5 degrees outside, you're probably going to freeze. If it's 40 degrees outside, you're probably going to sweat to death. But most mornings, I wake up like I'm in a sauna. And it's just very annoying. It kind of sucks. But other than that, I know that, winter is eventually going to be gone, and this tank will be gone, and that heater will be gone. It will be put in storage, and I won't have to use it. And plus, I would like to also travel southbound. That's it. I know that I'm ranting right now, but I gave you a very sloppy tour. But this is basically how I'm living, and overall, this is what I'm doing. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna end this video right now because it's a really long video, and I babbled about my hiccups. No, I babbled about a lot of stuff, and I hate doing that, but I just kind of ran through almost every single thing from like internet, TV, power usage, batteries, weather, my bed, like every single thing, and instead of just breaking it all down, and I will. But as you can see, I'm living pretty simple. My biggest thing is like where to stay, like a place you can really call home, which I don't think that's possible unless you're like really given permission. So as of right now, I stay in basically a 24-hour parking lot. It's a parking lot. It is a Planet Fitness, a McDonald's is right there, there's a CVS across the street. So like kind of that whole block is like 24 hours. And I've never had an issue parking there. I was there last night. If I want to switch it up, I'll go to like a hotel and just park in the lot. There's one in like Chelsea, no issues whatsoever. It was pretty cool with the snowstorms because I generally stay in Lynn, Mass. And in the city of Lynn, I know Chelsea doesn't do it, but in the city of Lynn, they clear every single street. So you got to remove your cars from every single street, not just the main streets. So in Chelsea, it's just the main streets. And then they have parking lots all over the city, like, a football field, like a high school parking lot, things like that will be open to the public during snow emergencies and things like that. Now, those nights to me were awesome because that means I know 100% I am living in that parking lot for the night, and I am 100% legal living there. Nobody's going to, hey, what's up? What are you doing here? That hasn't happened yet, and I'm trying to avoid it. But that hasn't happened. But I know it's not going to happen during a snowstorm. And I know snowstorms are pretty much over right now, being, the middle of March, just about. But there was about 3 or 4, and it was cool. That was cool because you're in a legal lot during a snow ban, and that's it. And the great thing is, when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to shovel, I don't have to plow, I don't have to, do any type of snow removal, I just drive away. And it's the greatest sense of freedom. I mean, I haven't done anything as far as travel yet. I haven't gone anywhere, just sat and opened up my doors in the morning to some warm weather overlooking a lake with some mountain landscapes. Oh, I can't wait. But until then, right now, I still gotta work, so I still gotta stay pretty much local to the Boston metro area. And other than that, I'm just building up my bank account and just like I'm planning a road trip for Atlanta. I've never been there. I mean, I've been to Florida a million times. I've been down the East Coast a million times. But I'll probably run down the East Coast. But I would like to just run along the mountain range. You know, the Appalachian Mountains, like, you know, on the East Coast. I moved to Vegas I'm going to cut it here because I'm not going to shut up. I thank you for watching. Make sure you check out my Instagram. The link will be down below. And it's a blessing being part of this community. And I absolutely love it. And my next video, which I've been really wanting to make, I kind of want to make it now, but I just thought I'd just talk randomly in this one, is the differences between why different people live. Like, you know, some people don't have a choice. I've seen people that are living in cars, and it's obvious that they don't have a choice. They're living in that car because they are legitimately homeless and they just so happen to own a car. I do have a choice as far as whether I can live in an apartment or live in a van, and I'm choosing to live in a van. I'm choosing the freedom that comes with living in a van and not having to pay rent and thousands of dollars every month. So whatever monies I make, it's my money. I get to keep it. Yes, I gotta buy propane. I gotta buy gas for the car. My insurance is, I don't know, $65 a month. I think my remaining premium balance is about $400. I can pay that off if I want. And I got some credit card bills. But for the most part, if I was in an apartment, we are talking about 1/5, if not less, than what it would cost to live in an apartment, especially up here in Boston. So a studio apartment is going to cost you about $1,800. And ideally, I'm used to a 2-bedroom apartment. And a 2-bedroom apartment, you're looking at well over $2 grand. So you're looking at close to $3 grand for a 2-bedroom apartment. Yeah. No, I own my own home. Like, this is it. I'm a homeowner, and nobody can tell me different. And I can sit here all day at the mall parking lot, and I mean, yeah, my generator might catch some attention, but for the most part, people don't really know the difference whether the car's running or there's some weird instrument inside that black box, you know? But anyways, I gotta shut up because this video is 32 minutes long and I gotta go. All right, peace.